Okay, these are notes for 1.2C. This is going to be level 4 on the test, the first part of level 4. We're going to be writing and solving equations to solve word problems. So here are the steps you should follow. Use let statements to define your variable. So let x equal the width, or let x equal the length, or let x equal one side, etc. Then you're going to set up your equation. Translate sentences into an equation using your let statement. Then you're going to write an expression for each side of the equation. Solve the equation. Oops. Use inverse operations and the steps for solving equations. Remember what D, C, V, and S represents, and we went over that in 1.2a and 1.2b. Then you're going to define your answer. So make sure you have answered the question. So for example, if you solve the problem and you answer with x equals something, that might not have answered the question. So I don't just want to know what x equals, I want to know the answer to the question. Give exactly what the problem is asking for. So first we're going to talk about missing quantities. We're going to be finding a number. So the directions are write the following sentences as an equation and then solve. So we did translate these phrases into expressions. Now we're going to be translating them into an equation and solving. So number 1, the total of 5 times a number and 12 is the opposite of 3. So you might want to pull out your notes from 1.1 to go over some of these key words that tell you the operation. So total is a key word for adding. So the total tells you you're going to add 5 times a number, we would write as 5x. So whenever we don't know what the number is, we call it x. 5 times a number we don't know would be 5x. The total of 5 times a number and 12 is. Now, is the word that's going to tell you that's where your equal sign goes. Is the opposite of 3. So the opposite of 3 would be negative 3. What's the number? So we need to write out our equation. The total of 5 times the number and 12 is the opposite of 3. So I would write this as 5x plus 12 equals negative 3. And then now I solve this expression, or I'm sorry, this equation. So first step will be subtract 12. And then divide by 5. X equals negative 3. So the number we don't know, 5 times a number, x equals 3. Okay, number 2, twice the difference of 6 times a number and 3 is 30. So twice tells you that something's being multiplied by 2. Twice the difference of. So this whole phrase, twice the difference of, tells you that there's going to be parentheses. So times the difference of, and difference is subtraction. So we know there's going to be subtraction in between those parentheses. 6 times a number, 6x, and 3 is, there's our equal sign, 30. Twice the difference of 6 times a number and 3 is 30. So I would write this as 2 times 6x minus 3 equals 30. So I'm going to need to distribute multiply 2 times 6x, 2 times -3, add 6, and divide by 12. X equals 3. So if you tell me x equals 3, you've answered the question. The question was, what is the number? Okay, let's look at perimeter, solving perimeter word problems. The length of a rectangle is 7 inches more than its width. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 66 inches, what is the length and width? So this is where I'm going to use let statements. It says the length of a rectangle is 7 more than its width. So if I'm trying to find the length and I don't know what the width is, but when I know that the length is 7 more than the width, I'm going to call my width x. So I'm going to say let x equal the width. And then if the width is now x, and we know the length is 7 more than the width, then my length is x plus 7. So I'm going to say let x plus 7 equal the length. So sketch the rectangle and let's label the sides. The width is x and the length is x plus 7. And the perimeter is just adding all the sides together. So x plus 7 plus x plus x plus 7 plus x. Now it says the perimeter is, there's our equal sign, 66. So now I need to combine like terms. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 x's, 4x, and then I have 7 plus 7. 4x plus 14 equals 66. Oops. So now to solve this, I would subtract 14. And divide by 4. X equals 13. Now, have I answered the question? The question is, what is the length and the width? All I know now is that x equals 13. So we're going to go back to my let statements. X was my width. So I can answer the question by saying the width is 13. But what is the length? The length was x plus 7. So if x is 13, then the length is 20. So here is the answer to my question. The length is 20, the width is 13. If I just answered x equals 13, I have not answered the question. Okay, number 4, the length of a rectangle is 5 inches more than twice its width. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 76 inches, what is the length and width? So again, let's write our let statements. Let x, we need to figure out what x will be. So if I know that the length is 5 more than twice the width, I have to know the width first. So width is going to be my x. Now I need to figure out what I'm going to call my length. 5 more than, so remember that more than tells you to add twice the width. If the width is x, then twice the width would be 2x. So let 2x plus 5 equal the length. So here is my rectangle. I have 2x plus 5 and x. To get the perimeter, I add all the sides. So 2x plus 5 plus x plus 2x plus 5 plus x equals 76. So remember, is 76 is our equal sign. Here we go. Equals 76. Okay, now I can combine like terms. So 2x and 1x and 2x and 1x is 6x. And then 5 plus 5 is 10. 6x plus 10 equals 76. Subtract 10. 6x equals 66. Divide by 6. X equals 11. Now, remember, go back and read the question. What is the length and width? So if x is 11, I know that my width is 11. If the length is 2x plus 5, I'm going to multiply 2 times 11 plus 5. So my length is 27. Now I have answered the question.